Hello everyone, it's Luli, and today I'm going to be doing a first impressions video of Bustafellows Season 2. But before I start, note that although I would not consider any of what I include in this video as spoilers, I'm aware that what you consider spoilers and what I consider spoilers may not quite align, so if you're even a little bit sensitive and you don't even want to know what the characters look like or what's on the back of the game, for example, then I would swiftly move on. Also, this first impressions is based on the common route and Limbo route, so of course as I progress in the game my opinions may change by the time I make my fully fledged review video, so bear that in mind. Also, I'd like to thank all of those who have supported me in tips, Ko-fis, Patreons. I truly appreciate it. These things really make me feel appreciated, I suppose, and help motivate me create more content. Also, I'd like to thank, I've got so many people to thank. I would like to thank those who have supported me through boosting my server as well, because that really helps too. But anyway, I think that's everything. Let me start. So first, the synopsis. Bustafellows Season 2 is the sequel to Bustafellows Season 1, which is a game about the main character Teuta, who has this ability to go back in time. Now, she uses this ability in various different ways to help her friends that she meets in New Sieg, which is kind of like New York, I think, or something similar to that. And yeah, she uses this ability of hers to help her friends that she meets, who are the love interests, and they all are very quirky. They have their own kind of idea of justice, and it is very much like an otome game that's sort of like an action movie, I guess. And Season 2 is a continuation, because in the Season 1 you do have, you know, Teuta and one of the love interests end up together and see side B, and then finally in Season 2 you get to see them as a couple, and it is actually really nice because the way they're a couple feels very natural, and it doesn't feel like that's the main focus of the route necessarily. So, you know, I went down Limbo route first, and it isn't all about their relationship, but alongside the main plot you've got little bits of seeing their relationship in their daily lives, and as a result it feels really natural. Like, you can kind of imagine that exact relationship in real life. Like, that's how it felt, which was pretty cool. So, introducing the characters, you've got Limbo, who defends criminals, and it's really interesting because, you know, in all his sort of stories it's very much focusing on what the criminal he's defending did, and those stories are fun to learn. And then you've got Mozu, who is a forensic scientist that works on, you know, figuring out why these different people ended up dying, and it is really interesting seeing him work on these different bodies. He has this kind of respect for them, I guess, and is very much like, let me try my very best to find out what happened to you, and that attitude is really respectable. Then you've got Shu, who is like a professional assassin. He is probably one of my favorites in that he is a kudere. He's very cool and collected. He's had a lot of training. He knows exactly where to shoot and who and why. I am very much looking forward to his route. Then you've got Helvetica, plastic surgeon and professional transformer, and oh, you know what? It is so rare for me to actually adore a love interest. Like, normally there's always one that I like per otome game, but I kind of move on. But Helvetica has stuck with me since playing Bustafellows and has refused to leave my mind, so he lives there rent-free. And he isn't everyone's cup of tea, to be honest. He is very... he's a bit of an arse, to be honest. Like, upon first meeting Teuta, he graded her appearance. You know, he's that kind of character. He cares a lot about himself. I am really looking forward to his route, though, in that, like, what's he gonna be like, you know? Like, is he going to be a good boyfriend to Teuta? Like, I'm a little bit suspicious, not gonna lie, but that's what I like about him. And then last but not least, you've got Scarecrow. Oh, bless him. He is like your typical, he deserves more kind of character, you know? Like, a lot of girls may probably friend zone him because he's too sweet and too nerdy looking maybe, but I know that he would make the perfect boyfriend, and I am rooting for him and Toda to do well in a relationship. I don't know, he's that kind of character. I do love him to bits. Now, there are a couple of new side characters that appear in the comment route, and that is Juno, who is like an upcoming influencer. You have Watcher, which is this like really creepy guy that randomly appears. I think he's like a journalist or something, but every time he appears, it's a bit of like, oh ho ho, because he looks like a ghost. And then you've got Guero. I don't know how you pronounce his name, to be honest, but he's like the son of this mafia lord who recently passed away. So those are a couple of side characters, though they're, you know, others as well. But yeah, so based on my previous experience in Bustafellows, my kind of expected ranking for the love interest is 100% Helvetica, because no one can be Helvetica. Then it'd be Shu, the assassin, and then it'd be Mozu, the forensic scientist, and then Limbo and Scarecrow are sort of at the same level. Like, Limbo's too much of a poster boy for me, and then Scarecrow, bless him. So that's kind of like my expectation, but I guess we'll see if that changes by the time I do a full-on review. Now, as I call it, the boring part, the system. So, you know, at the beginning, you kind of name the cat, like, or, you know, you pick a cat name, and that cat name is essentially the route you're going down. So, you know, Max would be Limbo, for example, and it's kind of nice to be able to just pick as opposed to your choices ending up going in different routes type of thing. Now, note that there is no love catch, so don't expect like the little hearts to pop up whenever you pick the right option. You also have some timed decision making, which I always go, I've only got 10 seconds to make a decision, and then I press the home button because, you know, I cheat like that. And then I look at the walkthrough and then go, okay, it's that one. And it's good to know. And also there is an option of just not answering like during those 10-second decisions, and that also is an option, so bear that in mind. Now, the button configuration is a little bit different from your typical automate game, so that did sort of take getting used to as someone who's like playing automate games all the time. Also, I don't actually know whether there's a skip to next option button. Like, I've kind of looked for it, but I don't know where it is. So if anyone here has played the game and is like, Luli, you're being silly, the next, you know, skip to next button is this one, then do let me know, comment it below, because I am clueless. Also, one thing to note is that once you complete, you know, whoever's route and get whatever endings, you kind of get like, it unlocks extra stories. So yeah, there's like more content after you've finished the routes, which is always a nice surprise. But yeah, so my personal ratings would be, the pacing would sort of be a 3 out of 5. Remember, this is all based on Limbo route. I have not played the other routes yet, so obviously I can't comment for those. But in terms of pacing so far, it's been a 3 out of 5. Plot, I would say also a 3 out of 5. I was interested, but like not necessarily super excited about what's going on. Romance, 4 out of 5. I'm not gonna lie, I was very surprised about this. Bustafellows had next to no romance in that you could replace, well, not replace Toda, but Toda could be a friend of the love interest, and the plot or like any of the scenes wouldn't have really changed for the most part. But in season 2, they've really like, at least in Limbo route, they upped the romance, which meant like I gained a lot more enjoyment because I love seeing the main character and love interest, you know, do coupley things and all of that. Spice, at least based on Limbo route, was a 3 out of 5. There were a couple of like scenes where I was like, I did not expect this from Bustafellows, which again is a nice surprise. As for the characters, 4 out of 5. I think they're all very they're all distinct, unique, and I enjoy them, and I'm sure every single route will be fun in some way or another. There will be someone for everyone, you know? Overall, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Also note that the ratings I was talking about is out of 5. The 7.5 is out of 10. Sorry for the confusion. But yeah, I would say overall, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. I did enjoy it. There were moments in the day where I was thinking about Bustafellows Season 2, which is, you know, not something that happens very often recently. Like, the otome burnout is insane. So, you know, Bustafellows Season 2, I was actually thinking about it while doing the dishes and stuff, which is a really good sign. It means that I was enjoying it. So yeah, I was really happy about that. I think a lot of that is attributed to the fact that I got to see a little bit more of the couple together, but at the same time, it's not like your fan disc where it's like, oh, I want to buy this love interest a gift, but I don't know what to get him. Like, you know, those, in my opinion, a little bit like shallow storylines I find really boring. I think they are perfect if you really love the love interest, but if you're like me where you're very plot centric, those kind of plots get a little bit old. But with this one, the sort of relationship was very much, they just are, and that's not like the main focus, at least not for Limbo anyway. And I'm guessing the other routes are going to be like that based on what other people have said, that it's going to be like a natural romance, there's a plot, but it's not like some silly storyline that you probably wouldn't get in real life, if you know what I mean. Now, moving on to who I would not recommend this game to. I would recommend this game to those who like the kind of epitome of independent working woman in the modern Western world. Like, if that is the kind of vibe you're looking for, then this is perfect. If you're also looking to experience like very real couple life with real kind of things that come up as a person in a relationship, then this is definitely something you'll probably enjoy. And of course, if you enjoy plot or personal development being a big part of the game, with romance being a side thing, then you'll probably also enjoy this game as well. However, I would not recommend this game to those who want a main character that's a bit more placid, a bit wife-like. So I personally prefer main characters who are very like feminine and wifey and damsel in distress, gets rescued, and like that's more my kind of personality. So as someone like that playing as Tota, there were moments where I felt a little bit disconnected. So obviously if you're like me, then it may not be necessarily something for you to play if that is like a deal breaker. I would also not recommend it to those who are looking for like a hopeless, romantic, dramatic, burning, yearning, desire kind of otome game, because this is definitely more about plot and personal development of Tota than it is like anything about passionate romance, at least again based on Limbo anyway. And also I would not recommend it to those who are looking for an extremely fictional world to escape into, especially if you're from the West, because this kind of, the entire aesthetic, the feel is very much like New York. So if you're from America, you probably, and especially if you're in a city in America, you may not feel like you're escaping your reality at all, to be honest. You may as well go for something like Radiant Tale or Cafe Enchante, or I don't know, something a bit more out there compared to this, because yeah, this felt very real and relatable, to be honest. But anyway, that kind of ends this first impressions video. As I keep on saying, this is based on Common Route and Limbo Route. Who knows, all the other routes may be different, which is why I do recommend you check out reviews out there by different people. However, that's how I'm feeling so far. I am really enjoying it, to be honest, more so than I expected, because admittedly Bustafellows, the first one, I wasn't that into. Like, I played it and I was like, this is okay, but like, it's a good quality game, you know, you got like cool moving backgrounds, amazing voice acting, it's great, it's just, it wasn't for me, I guess. Whereas so when I started season 2, my expectations were relatively low, because I was like, well, I didn't really enjoy Bustafellows 1 that much, so it's very likely that I'm not going to enjoy Bustafellows 2 either, but I was very pleasantly surprised. I do think it's just that I wanted a bit more romance and this gave it to me. So yeah, I actually enjoyed it, and I hope other people enjoy it as well. If you have any questions about this game, do let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and hopefully I will see you in another one of my videos or streams. Bye!